And chaotic living tool number 5. Release what no longer serves. We are living in a time when living in integrity, releasing what no longer serves us, is critical to our spiritual development. It's critical to how we move forward in our lives to allow those doors to open up to the new things that are coming to us. And everybody in this room, if it's not yourself, knows somebody that's lost their job, is about to lose a house, has all kinds of things that have occurred, and they are either moving through that experience easily because they've recognized they have no choice but to let go, or they're fighting it, and you know those people, that they're still living with the chaos and the pain of having lost things that they thought were valuable and important to them. And those things may have been valuable, they may have been important, but they obviously no longer serve that person, or those things would not be moving away from them. So, what are we giving up that no longer serves us? Primarily our tribal belief systems, which can look anything from the letting go of our attachments to what we thought defined us materially, or defined us from our jobs, which are all the typical examples, but we also want to take a look at what our own personal tribal belief systems are. And some of these systems we're going to consciously know about, and some of them we are not going to consciously know about, because they're going to be subconscious energies that have had the power to direct us. And if you have not read Blink, I do recommend that you pick that up, because it's all about how the subconscious brain actually has the power to impact our behavior systems. The mantra that I give almost all of my clients at some point in time is, I release all that no longer serves me, consciously or subconsciously, quickly, quietly, easily, and in peace. We live among a throng of invisibles that order us about family values, self-development, human relationships, personal happiness, and then another more fierce set of mythical figures called control, success, cost-effectiveness, and the biggest and most pervasively invisible, the economy. That comes from James Hillman, The Soul's Code in Search of Character and Calling. What William Wordsworth said, habit rules the unreflecting herd. And of all the times that we live in now, we know that habits are definitely being called into question here. Number 6, don't be hard on yourself. When we move through chaos, when we're in chaos, the very first thing we all have a tendency to do is to blame ourselves. We have a tendency to think, well, gosh, how come I didn't do that perfectly? If I had only done this, that would have turned out differently. And that's not going to happen, because everything works out perfectly. It behooves us to have compassion for ourselves, to do a forgiveness process for us and not for anybody else. When we're in chaos, we don't have, oftentimes, full access to our own personal power. And that is going to cause us to behave in ways that are not stellar. Things that we're going to look back on a few years from now and go, oh gosh, I hope nobody ever finds out I did that. Or to behave in ways that may not look like they have a whole lot of integrity right now. And when we don't have ourselves fully funded, when we're not grounded, when we're not taking that deep breath and sitting down and being a little more calm about things, we are going to let our power go to anybody and everybody. And this is when we end up allowing people who see that we've got that energy just flowing out everywhere to more easily enter our lives. And they're going to more easily take advantage of our weakened conditions. So a fully funded state of power is necessary to this process of not being hard on yourself, because this is how you remember that, no, I'm not going to do everything perfectly. And yes, I could have responded better to that yesterday, but you know what? Let's wait and see what happens, because maybe that was the right response. I've often said that, and I will say this to clients when we're moving through a lot of energy, that they may be surprised if they turn around and get angry about something in a way that they've never been angry before. And oftentimes this will happen because they are standing up for themselves. And they will feel badly about the fact that they had to use anger to move through a situation, because it doesn't feel good to have that kind of energy welling up through you. And we're taught that we're not supposed to be angry, that that's spiritually not an acceptable practice. But you know what? It is an acceptable practice when it's used appropriately. And when it's a response that comes up out of you naturally, in response to a situation, and you have used your words appropriately, you've been in your full personal power, then you are acting in integrity, even if to the next day you're still going, oh God, why did I do that? You know, I shouldn't have been that angry. If you wait, you may find out why you had that response in the first place. And you may find out it was exactly the right response, even if it didn't feel good or look right at the time. So that's why being able to step back and have compassion for yourself is critical during this time of chaotic living.